morning, everyone. Welcome to our open house at the Cliftondale, now known as the MEG Foundation building. It's a beautiful day, and I want to introduce you all to our patron saint here, Charles Bond. He was very wealthy, lived in Cliftondale, was a manufacturer of the Blackstone cigars. He gave this property to the town to build this school. He had a beautiful home right here on the corner of Jackson and Lincoln Avenue. Right across the street was his manufacturing business. Where the Sarabian people own, and that's where he manufactured all the cigars. And at one time, they shipped all over the country. He was the #1 manufacturer of cigars. Mr. Bond then gave that lot to the Cliftondale Methodist Church. Over here we have a list, it's 1934, of all the teachers, where they graduated from their college education, and how much they got paid. They also held custodians in very high regard, and the custodian here had his own office in the basement. He worked here 8 hours a day. Paula has spent the last half of her lifetime just putting all these displays together, morning, noon, and night, correct?
Correct.
Okay. She was a former teacher. You taught at the Sweetser School.
Sweetser School, then at the Oaklandvale School.
And you love teaching. You love the children. And she loves being in charge of this. We've had to go through her, get her permission to put things where they were supposed to go. Some of us disagree with her, but look at how beautiful it is. And you did a great job, Paula, and I can't say enough
Thank you.
of what you've done.
Now it's my pleasure.
I know. It's your life now. What are you going to do after this?
I might go back to teaching.
You should. You got enough stuff here.
No.
We can have a little classroom here. Well, thank you again, dear.
Thank you.
We'll go back to your classes. We have Miss Karen here. She's a student in the 2nd grade. She's taken a couple of tests. She's doing quite well in school. Miss Graves is very pleased with her performance. And she's learning how to write cursive. We have a lot of wonderful books. They say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. And Karen is one of the better students that we've had in this class.
My best girlfriend.
Yeah, but Kathy never went to this school, but she takes care of this building. Kathy almost lives here, she and her husband, John, and they just maintain every speck of dust. Nothing gets by Kathy. This place is immaculate. We've often told her maybe she should put a couple of cots in here and spend the rest of her days here. But we really appreciate you, Kathy and John. You've been a great asset.
We love this building.
Right, they love this building. Here we have the story of Malia Graves, a beloved teacher for 47 years. She taught right in this classroom here in the 2nd grade. She lived right around the corner at 1st Street, which is still in the Graves family. And she'd often have young students come home with her to make brownies. A lot of the boys would mow her lawn or bring her newspapers. They absolutely loved her, and she loved all the children. We have some very famous writers that went to school here. 2 Bills from Boston. They talk about their endeavors and how they became very successful in manufacturing. A dear friend, he's president of Northeastern at the time, and after he retired, he came here and helped us clean up this place and get rid of the pigeons. We captured some of the original work when this place was abandoned. And at the time, there were some developers that wanted to purchase this property and turn it into condos, which probably got us activated because we thought this building was worth saving, many of us. And here we have volunteers. They were all volunteers that came to our rescue and shoot out all the pigeons and took off all the plywood and gave us confidence that we could do it. And it's amazing what we did. We have a beautiful display here of several of the elementary schools. I believe the town of Saugus at one time had 13 elementary schools. Now here in the Cliftondale School, the children would walk to school, walk home for lunch, come back to school and walk home again. And they were all in the same neighborhood. So from the first to the fourth grades, they were always the same, which was kind of nice because they developed long friendships even after leaving school. I found this in the school. I found this in the basement of the school here, and it was a graduation from the fourth grade. Mr. Williams, I think it was Charles Williams, but that's what the children got when they graduated the fourth grade at the Cliftondale School. Christine Donahue, excuse me, I'd love to, one of my dearest friends, Christine Howlett Donahue.
Right,
She was a student here.
I was. Many, many, many years ago.
All right, who was your favorite teacher?
Always Miss Graves. Miss Graves was everybody's favorite teacher.
Really?
And all of that I'm reading about her right there,
Couldn't
doesn't,
even-
you
no.
have to keep talking about her forever. Every child that went to this school loved Miss Graves. Loved her, and she loved every kid.
She did.
She did.
And you had how many brothers and sisters attend this school?
Too many. No. I was one of 11.
11. That's why she was born on Christmas Eve, and you were called
Christmas Day.
Oh, excuse me.
I was born
Okay.
on Christmas Day.
We'll get it right.
And we all came to this school, and we went home for lunch. And the first grade teacher was Miss Putnam. Miss Graves taught second grade. Mrs. Cronin taught the third grade. And Mrs. Beckman, who was the principal, taught fourth grade.
Did you have to go to that dentist?
Yes, and I have a circle on my hand because it was horrendous. And I just saw his picture, and he didn't look anything like that. He looked like the devil.
He was the
He was
the devil.
He was the devil. And anybody that went to him, I just talked to a man who went to him, and he still has nightmares, and I believe it. We all
A lot of
have
women-
horrible teeth because of him, because he scared the bejesus out of us, and we would never go to the dentist.
Exactly, exactly. People today will not even go near that room because they still have that
Yeah.
terrible memory.
So I would have been out of here in 61, fourth grade.
And you really love that dentist.
I did not.
Tell me.
Fourth grade was up in that corner, as I recall.
Yeah.
Right? First, second, third, fourth.
Right. And what happened to Dr. Beckman?
I don't know, I never went in here. I was always going
In his
to...
office?
Went to his office, 2 doors down.
And he ruined your teeth.
He did. Hate to say it. It was just, the pain was awful. That's the only thing I remember.
Well, they were told, people would tell me that when they were in here as young children, the nurse said, you cannot cry. And right here it says, this is a report back December 31st, 1934. Now, he gave us annual report. The needy children from the first 2 grades. I didn't know I was needy at the time. And Christine, same thing. So we were needy kids. That year, he removed 260 teeth. He had fillings, 179. Some sort of treatment, 160 students. He had total patients, 624. He had 2 children, somebody that refused any clinical help, but he was not very well liked. The nurse there, I don't know what her name is, told the patients, you can't scream, you can't do anything, and she would hold their arms down. To this day, so many people won't even come into this room, and I can understand perfectly because they don't like the dentist to this day. We have a book, Visit Saugus, and it was done by Mrs. Kellogg, who was a very, very talented artist in her day. And this was also in the time capsule that they uncovered back in 1954 when it was put in there. But we have a copy. And this is what I've written, The Golden Leaf Love Affair. I knew nothing about this school. I knew nothing about Mr. Bond. But once I got into it, I realized what a famous, wonderful family man he was. So I took it upon myself to get all the history, and I learned all about cigarettes, cigars, Tipperillos. Remember that? And I developed a friendship with his grandson, Charles Bond, and he gave me a lot of the old letters that his grandmother had and books, so I learned even more. And the story is priceless because there were so many famous people that came from Cliftondale. Okay. Get over here. No, this, what's your name?
Gail Casarino.
Okay, Gail is a wonderful friend of the MEG and of the DAR. We're both DAR members, and she happens to be the regent, which is a very important position. I'm just a member, right?
Yes, yeah.
And she does a great job. She loves this school, and she loves the DAR, as we all do. Thank you very much, Gail, for all you do. This is Catherine Chicky Hollett was one of our first directors, along with her sister Ruth Swanson. Unfortunately, we lost both of them recently, Ruth. But Chicky, as we knew her, and her granddaughter, Carla, did this beautiful artwork. It represents everything that we wanted to encompass into this building. Entertainment, dancing, a cup of tea, the teachers, spirit, everything is here at this building. And Chicky and her granddaughter did a beautiful job displaying it in art. This is one of our newest board members, and we're so happy she joined us. What's your name?
Rhonda Cole.
Rhonda Coombe. Rhonda's been a great asset to our development here, and she's been here over the weekend and morning, noon, and night. And her best thing, she made dozens and dozens of wonderful homemade brownies, which is, we should have sold them. We should have, but we've given away. And thank you very much for helping all of us. This is Joyce Rossetti. She's been a member for like 150 years right now, it seems. She's
10 years less than you.
Okay. Joyce is just an unbelievable asset to our foundation here. She's always there. She irons all the beautiful tablecloths. She comes in and straightens everything out. She keeps the order.
Oh, thank you very much.
Really, and I'm so grateful to have you.
And Janice is an inspiration, historian, so much energy. She keeps this place going. If it weren't for her and her leadership,
Oh, thank you very much, Joyce.
it wouldn't be what it is.
But Joyce, you're my right arm.
Oh,
Thank you very much, Joyce.
thank you.
Well, we want to thank you, Clark, for taking time out to come to visit our MEG, take some wonderful pictures. It's just a beautiful, beautiful building, and everybody that comes in here has a special time. Many of us believe it's because of Charles Bond, and we have had experiences that he's been around, and we're not going to argue with him. He's the one that's really taking care of us. And I want to thank you, Clark. I want to thank everybody on my committee. We couldn't get Linda. She didn't want to be, but Linda's the backbone also. She's our secretary and our treasurer and just keeps all of us in line. And we welcome more people to the school to come visit, spend some time, because there's not going to be a school like this ever again. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to recognize the MEG Foundation board members and others who have given so much of their time and energy in presenting this wonderful and historical look back to the many businesses and residents who once lived in Cliftondale those many years ago. First, we have Paula Anthony, Paula Bavacqua, Michelle Catanzano, Rhonda Coombs, Laurie Davis, Kathy Giannetta, Linda Ross, Patty Staples, Karen Speziali, Joyce Rossetti, and Judy Worthley. Also, our very special photographer, Steve Bavacqua, business neighbors GCA Jewelers, Mike's Barbershop, Webster First Credit Union, and the Blue Moon Cigar Shop, along with our neighbors, friends, families, and many town officials. Also, Clark Malayson from SCTV. Thank you.